Floyd?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
The lovely Miss Trishauna Clarke.
Yep, you said it right,
I,
Trishauna Clarke.
I said it right. Good deal. Good deal. How's it going?
Going pretty good, can't complain yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's keep it at pretty good then. Good.
I know.
Good. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
We saw Yellow Girl and we loved it.
Good.
And you're not wearing your yellow wig today. I should have told you to wear
I know, I'm not, no, I don't have it on today.
your long mane of yellow hair, appropriately titled The Yellow Girl.
Yes.
So tell me how Yellow Girl came to you.
So my manager actually submitted me to Yellow Girl when it came out. And for a long time, I was talking to her and I was saying, I really don't see any Jamaican projects ever coming through and where I can just drop in my dialect and use it or I always wanted to tell a Jamaican story in the US market. And I just never came through. And finally last year when she said to me, Trishauna, there is this project that came about. It's called Yellow Girl and Me. She sent it over. I read it. I said, I love it. Let's do it. We then sent in the tape. Bella got back to me. She was like, she gave me some directions. She's like, I want this way. Can you try it this way? Just give me varieties. I did it. And then it just meshed and it worked for her, worked for me. We met in person. And she was just, the fact that she was also a Jamaican director and a female on top of it,
Absolutely.
just added like the icing on the cake for me with everything with that.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that was really important to you that she was a female and a native Jamaica as well. Had your paths crossed in Jamaica at any point in time, do you think?
With her?
Yeah, like what part of Jamaica are you from?
I'm from Kingston.
She's from Kingston too, right?
Yeah, she's from Kingston too. We know her family, like my family knows her family background, but I personally have never met her, no.
Oh, okay. Now, did you grow up in Kingston?
Born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh, is that right? And then you came to U of M for your post-high school?
Well, actually, I did a year in high school because I ran track and field. And then I got a scholarship, did a year in high school at St. Thomas Aquinas in Florida. Then from there, got a scholarship. Then that's when I went to UM and then did nursing. And because back then, like my dad, he's very strict on, you don't go to school for arts. You don't go to school for that sort of thing. In the Caribbean family, they strongly believe you're going to be a doctor or you're going to be a nurse. So one of those things. So I became a nurse. So yeah, that was my journey from there to there.
Okay. Now the one thing I'll say to you before we get to the clip was immediately when I saw when you come out in your little skivvies and I saw those hamstrings, I was like, that's a track girl right there. I know that. Those hamstrings, I said, that's a track girl right there. So what did you run? You ran 100?
Yep. I did 100, I did 200, I did high jump, long jump. I was on 4x4 and I actually competed. I competed for Jamaica. I was on the Jamaican team for a while. Usain and I are friends. We competed together at Carifta Games.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, man, you was all over the place.
I was all over.
Except you ran pretty much in every meet, right?
Yeah.
Every heat.
Oh yeah, every single time. And I was one of those, pretty much I was more considered also like a HEP athlete because of the fact that I could get points. And when you get to the college system, it's just a matter of how much points can you get us, because we want to get to the top. So
I see, okay.
I had a long day because high jump used to start 7 a.m. and then the 4x4 was like the last race as well. So I always had long days at track meets.
So you're a 5-star athlete.
Yes, thank you.
And a 5-star actress.
Yes, I love that. Thank you.
You just transitioned to stars.
Thank you. Yes.
Right. So how does your competitive, I'm assuming you have a competitive spirit. Does that work for you as an actress, or do you tone it down a little bit?
Oh no, can't tone it down at all.
Okay.
I think it works for me a lot. But of course, in like everyday life, my friends are always like, Trish, please, give me a break. But for me personally as an actress, I think being an athlete on a whole, it gave me a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline, which I am so grateful for now because, with acting, a lot of the times it's very easy to just go about your day and keep waiting on an audition, or you're waiting for a test out, waiting to hear, always
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas me, I like to have the mentality just like an athlete. You got to put in the work every day, and you don't have to sit and wait expecting that something is going to come, or just start creating it yourself.
Right.
So I'm very on top of that, of putting in work every day, whether it's breaking down scripts, reading scripts, and actually right now writing a pilot. So
Okay, great. Good for you. So you're a self-starter.
yes, that I would definitely say, yeah. Gotta
Okay,
go after
good
what
deal.
you want.
Good deal. Okay.
Wait a day. Eh? 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 Me asleep, Nicole.
Morning, Nicole. Tell her I'm up on the road. And make sure she's not late again.
I have on my swimsuit. You promised me. Yellow girl, please. Wake up, yellow girl, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, wake up, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, wake up, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, yellow girl, wake up, wake up.
It brings such joy and also sadness at the same time, because joy in the fact that you see a kid that is pretty much so excited and so ready to go, and she obviously, I promised her something, and the truth of the matter is she doesn't even really understand or know that I am so tired from working because I'm actually trying to make ends meet for the both of us. So it's a touching moment that already starts setting up and establishing the fact that there's always been and have been disappointment between my sister and I, that I have not been coming through with always owning up to my promises for her.
Because you're so busy.
Yeah, because I'm busy working, and hence that's why I end up sleeping in, because night jobs tend to take that type of toll on you. And especially the fact, and again, it doesn't register to her. I think she's aware, based on the clothes I wear and, the hours that I do work, she may be aware of exactly what it is I do, but the importance to her, the gravity of the importance of it is not there for her. For me, it's my job, and it's me providing food on the table for her as well, and trying to eventually get out of the situation.
Right. Now, I'm assuming she's a sex worker.
Yes.
Okay. Because at first I thought she might have been like a stripper, dancer type. But then later on, I guess I got that the movie in itself is about abuse and the different types of abuse that these two people are encountering, and that the little girl is being courted essentially to be next in line.
Exactly. Yeah, I play a prostitute in it, and it shows without even showing it, actually.
Right.
Shows the gravity, heaviness of what a lot of prostitutes, possibly face and go through.
Right, exactly, exactly. And even more so in on the islands.
Yes, definitely. In Jamaica, we had this a lot. And, you know, my dad even wrote a book about a prostitute. And it happens a lot, quite often, where a lot of women are caught in bad situations. But because life is rough in a third world country, you know, as I know, I grew up there. Sometimes you got to make ends meet, however it is. And it's very unfortunate, but that's the only way to kind of keep your head above the water for the minute.
Right. Now, let me ask you, was this your first prostitute role?
Yes.
Okay. Would you, now I know that, you know, as an actress and an actress they have certain stereotypes that they're trying to avoid, I assume.
Right.
Just like male actors they have certain stereotypes, Black male actors have certain stereotypes that they're trying to avoid. Would you tackle another prostitute if it came your way?
You know what? I would. I don't have just certain levels though. With the with that would come nudity. So it also would depend on what's being offered as far as nudity goes, because then certain things right there, I'm not willing to cross barriers on.
You're not quite comfortable with that just yet.
With full nudity and that sort of stuff, no, that I wouldn't do. But if it's a role like this, you know, implied nudity and stuff, then okay, then that's fine. But also, I have a son, so at the same time, my decisions that I make are also, you know, for him in the future. Okay. And again, not saying anything against, you know, any actresses who do choose to make the decision, even though they have kids. All of us, you know, we're all so different in our morals and beliefs and growing up. But yeah, I have no problem tackling. Again, it's acting. I love playing. I love diving in many different worlds as much as I can. And funny enough, normally it's not. And Bella also said to me, I almost didn't get the role because it called for a girl that looked rough. It called for somebody to be rough around the edges. And we spent hours in makeup, adding freckles, adding bumps, changing maybe the skin color, you know, stuff like that. And she was like, but you were just so true to character and what you brought to it. So I was like, yeah, well, I really appreciated it because it was so nice to just dive in and be for that moment.
Yeah, I noticed I don't know what that was.
Bruise.
I don't know if it was a bruise. Did she grow a beard? What was?
No, it
was a birthmark. I was like, what is that? But okay, they had fun with the makeup.
Right, and then because that also lends to the fact that he says, tell her not to be late again.
Right.
And that tone, you know, that tells us she most likely got in trouble because of the fact that she came back late.
Right. And then later on we see, in one of these next clips, I think we're going to see more of a bruise, a real bruise.
Right.
And again, it lends itself to him abusing her physically. So that we got physical abuse, we got sexual abuse, emotional abuse.
Oh yeah.
Verbal abuse. We got the whole bucket of abuse going on.
Yeah.
Movie. Okay, let's jump into the next clip. Let me get.
Look up the sugar. Look up the coconut.
What's going on in that? What can you recall from that scene?
Children are like sponges. You know, everything that they see, they mimic. That tells us that she's way ahead of her little time. You know, the fact that she dresses like that, that's how she sees, that's how I dress. The fact that she knows I even have the gun in the drawer. That also, with her finding the gun, I think for me, that was the first time that I think she also realized this is something she could possibly use to defend herself.
Mm.
And then in the latter scene, I don't think she knew she was going to be using it, but she took the gun from that scene and hid it for her own purpose instead of leaving where it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that does tell me that she already knows this is a setup for her, knowing that this is possibly a way out. And she's getting that bravery that she's realizing that her sister has. You know, I myself, it may seem, yes, I'm abused, but at the same time, there's a certain bravery that a woman has to have. And as a victim of abuse, that you stay there and you're trying to tough it out and deal with it, especially because you know you want a better life for your sister.
Yeah. It's interesting. You know, we're diving in deeper. This is obviously my second time doing this with you guys. And as we go in deeper and deeper, you know, it becomes even more contextualized, just how deep this project is. Like I said, there's a bucket of abuse in the 20 minutes that we see everybody. Yeah. And the little girl is phenomenal, by the way. She was really good. I heard you guys were coaching her.
Yeah, Bella was very, very good with her. She was very good with her on, you know, the patience, in addition to, plus, you know, on set with children, you have to like stop and they have to learn and then go back again. But she was very good with her in just getting her to give us her different emotions, or she would give her a different scenario and say, you know, imagine this happening. And for me, to be honest, I loved seeing that because it constantly reminds us as actors, like older actors, that it's pure, real imagination that we live from. I mean, now a lot of us, we pull from our personal life, but you probably have personal life mixed with your imagination. And just seeing her to be able to do that was just so fulfilling and refreshing for me, you know, just to see, because kids are just so innocent, you know, kids don't even understand that there's an audition process. It's like, wait, I am the role. Why am I auditioning? Mm-hmm. So that was really good. Bella was very, very good with her on the coaching. And then when I was with her, like we would, you know, do like right before scenes start, I would talk to her or tell her maybe a story, but that had the context of what we were doing.
Right. How was her accent?
We worked on it, like in between. We worked on it a lot. And then there are some times where I would stop, where I would have to correct her. I would say, okay, you know, maybe say it this way and put the tongue towards the back. And then talk more deep in your throat. And then, so we go about it in fun, different ways. And we use animal characters.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then she would drop in a little bit better.
Yeah, I thought it sounded pretty good. I thought she sounded very, very authentic.
Yeah. So we really worked on that with her. So I'm happy that you know, hear it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing about it was you guys didn't shoot in Kingston or in Jamaica. And, you know, when you first turn it on, you see them at the beach, obviously, or at the lake or river. And hey, I wouldn't know no better, honestly. I was like, oh, okay, they had a little money. That's what I thought. But to hear that you guys were in Northern California, was it Northern California?
Yeah, we went pretty far up. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was pretty far up that we went, and she was just like, this is a perfect, and I trust her. Yeah. You know, after I saw just her vision, where we were going, what we're doing with the project, I trust her. I said, because I told her, I said, now, you know, we got to make sure we stick it to as much as Jamaica as possible. But once I even saw the house, you know, or setup and everything, and then she had the Greta cake, that's the pink and white cake. I was like, oh, I was in love with every single thing. So I was like,
she hit the nail right on the head.
She did. She really did.
Good job. Okay, can you set up the third clip?
Sure.
All right, go for it.
Okay, wait, let me make sure I remember what the third clip was. Let me just look at it really quick. Oh, God. The third clip. Okay. Now, so this clip is when reality hits. This clip is unfortunately what a lot of us women do go through from our childhood. A lot of us do experience.
Mm.
You know, I'm just going to speak more so to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
In Jamaica, men can get away with this a lot,
Mm.
you know, because it's not, we have police, but our police system there is not as rigid, and you're not really held accountable. Then I can say you can get away with a lot more crimes there than you can here.
Mm.
And it's so, every time I see this part, I cringe so much, and I get so, because he's talking about the worm. But in reality, he's not talking about the worm.
Right.
He's also trying to coax her and teach her into, you may see things, you may feel things, but you don't necessarily have to say anything when you see it. You don't necessarily have to say anything when you feel it.
Mm.
And it's just him being so self-consumed in that moment and just pleasing himself and not stopping to realize the fact that what he's doing is harming a little girl. But we also see another layer of him as if he actually cares, because normally you wouldn't really see an abusive person caring to want to take the child to the doctor to fix her ear. So it's really layered in that aspect, because most of the times a person would do that maybe around, like most of the times the abusive person would do it around the other person. So in front of me, then, to make me think, no, that he just genuinely cares for her. He wants to fix her ear. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he does it without me even being there is also what's confusing, or if anything, more heart-wrenching. The fact that you first approach her about her ear and then you go into actually molesting her. Mm. And this obviously tells me this is not the first time that this has happened. Mm. Because even when he approaches, you can see the hesitation in her. When he starts dancing, I always felt that when he starts dancing, it's as if she's not sure if she should be okay with this, because is it going to lead to something else? Or maybe it's not. But then you see the little child come out in her and is literally like, well, I just want to enjoy this moment. But then in enjoying the moment and you see him slow down, then that's when, for her, I think that's when it's like, oh, okay, I see where this is going again.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Let's check it out.
Stella going?
Yeah, somebody look at it.
You know, sir, I'm not have no eyes.
Look. Try it. Close your eyes. You can't imagine not seeing, being in darkness all of the time. But you're not afraid of the dark no more. You're a big girl now.
So I'm guessing the bathtub is kind of like her safe haven. Maybe she goes there, you know, just to kind of clear her head or get her thoughts together, and she feels safe in the bathtub, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's how I felt it as well. That she would always go there for, you know, her time for herself, or her exactly what you said, just her little time to regroup.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, the first time around, I didn't catch that. I thought this might have been his first approach, but you're right. He's probably been, leading up to this, this time. He's coaxing her, and she knows what's going on. She has no recourse, though. She really has no recourse unless she knows the yellow girl and tells her. But I mean,
Exactly. Which, for every victim, that's always a very touchy thing, because one, you would hate to be, you would hate to go and say, and then the person don't believe you, and then you still end up even worse in the situation, because you hate to go and say something, the person don't believe you, then the person confronts that person about it, they lie about it, and then you still stay in the situation.
Right.
Oh no, that makes it 10 times worse, for a victim.
Right. Yeah. Okay, the last and final clip is clip 4. You want to set that one up?
Yes, and clip 4. Oh. Okay, so clip 4 is the first time that I actually get the inkling that he's touching her. And that's when I realized that life is about to change for all of us. I love her to death. I love my sister to death. And the fact that she's now starting to become a victim of what I've had to endure, because I myself, being yellow girl, have had to endure that in my childhood. And then not having parents around. And then I was trying to protect her from that. But here it is, it has already happened. So I think in that moment and that look, when I look at him and then look back at her, and I realize he's looking at her and he doesn't even budge, because most men, if you burst in, whether it's a kid or if you burst in on anybody, you automatically up and you lock the door. He doesn't do that. He stands there. So that to me is what troubled me. And that's what brings us into the wrath after.
This on.
Don't make me call your name again. What do you think y'all do? Fucking I ain't want to sit on that big I need that y'all stuff at the street. You want to go back on the phone on the street? Fucking warn. Answer me. You hear me? See? If you hear them, not fucking work because check that out. You hear me?
Right. Yeah. All you guys you did a phenomenal job. All 3 cast members, right? There's really 3 primary cast members, and you guys all did a great job. Great teamwork. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Floyd.
Yeah, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not just blowing smoke at all. It was an excellent job. Everything resonated. Felt very authentic. Unfortunately, it felt a little bit too authentic, but it was a well done for a topic that is always covered, meaning that I see it a lot, various different forms. It was well done, very well done.
Oh, it's great. Thank you so much. It warms my heart to hear that. I really, really appreciate that from you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what else you got going on? What's coming up?
So what's coming up, I actually have another film, a short film that is just got the green light. We can't say yet, but it's going to be turned into a feature. So that's really good. And that explores the world. It's called Tender. I can actually send you the link so you can take a look at it and enjoy that. You'll see me in a different light. But that explores the world of two Black women and how strangers can pretty much find love in one night, you know, and it's among two Black women. Also, so right now I'm working on the pilot with, actually Bella is also a writer on it. So I'm working on the pilot. We're trying to see who and which production we might get on it. So that's my main focus. And I have picked up back my registered nurse card, and because of COVID-19, you know, I decided to go. I always kept my nursing license active because I always felt like, you know, I could still help out in the community or something. So I've actually been working, taking care of patients who've been positive. Okay. So yeah, good. Working back and, you know, trying to give back to my community.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. You put your name in your hat, and you're using the talents, all the talents that you have that God blessed you with, and that's excellent. That's good. I commend you for that for sure. Thanks. So tell me your top 3 movies that were set in Jamaica. Your top 3 Jamaican movies.
Oh, I have to say Shatters. I think that's like everybody
came up.
Shatters, that's 1. 2, Dancehall Queen. Dancehall Queen is actually it has some moments like Yellow Girl, but Dancehall Queen I love. It's about a girl who works at night, and she's a single mom. She's trying to protect her daughter. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of men start coming around. The daughter's, you know, very pretty and exquisite and out there. Her daughter gives a lot of trouble. And the mom is trying to protect her. But eventually the mom has to enter a dance competition for money because they're very poor. She enters and dance. She ends up winning, but she somehow plots and cons the men, and they all end up against each other. So I love Dancehall Queen. If you can understand it, it would be lovely for you to check out.
Oh,
and then my third one, I've always only had a top 2. But my third one, I'm not sure if it was, but I would say How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
No, I can't give you that one.
It had some moments like that one. I'm trying to think of it. No.
Sort of, kind of. I can't give you that one though. I thought I was gonna say The Harder They Fall, right? By Jimmy Cliff, with Jimmy Cliff.
I've never seen that.
Oh, okay, you got to check that out.
I got to check that out. The Harder They Fall. Yeah. Okay, I will check it out.
The harder they fall, the harder they come. I think it's one of the two: harder they come or harder they fall. But the poster is classic. It's a classic poster of Jimmy Cliff. It's probably not the best script, but it's not the worst either. But right. If you like that type of cinema, that kind of 70s cinema, then you'll enjoy it. But yeah, that's definitely a cult classic.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Trishauna, Clarke, thank you so much for your time. You've been very generous and very gracious. I appreciate it. And I hope that you can make it to the vineyard when we eventually have the film festival.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. I will be there. Thank you so much, Floyd. I really appreciate you just even watching and taking the time with Yellow Girl and even doing this with us. So I really appreciate that.
No, it was a good piece. It definitely was a good piece. Love the yellow wig. Hopefully, bring the yellow wig when you come.
I will. I'll bring All right, I will.
All right, you take care.
Thanks, Floyd. Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.